Welcome everyone to today's video where I want to talk about a studio that has concentrated on VR games for quite some time. The studio I'm talking about is Wanadev Studios. Before we jump into the video, I'd like to remind you all to hit that subscribe button, leave a comment and a like. The support really means a lot to me, so let's crack on with the video. So for anyone who doesn't know who Wanadev are, they're a studio who specialises in VR games from Lyon, France. They were created 15 years ago as a web agency, but due to their passion for tech, they eventually went into the VR scene. Since that time, they've created some well-known games that I'm sure many of you will know, so let's take a minute to go over their past titles. One of their most known titles is Propagation VR, which came to Steam back in 2020. A free-to-play survival shooter that places the player in one spot. You have to take out countless undead, mutated enemies and even giant spiders. It gained quite a lot of popularity for its clean graphics and good use of gun mechanics in VR. The game eventually got a paid multiplayer DLC so you can squad up with your friends to survive the horde. While it remained popular, some players were left wanting more, and we'll come back to that soon. After Wanadev Studio got their itch for horror shooters in VR, they went on to something more bright and, well, calm. In 2021, they brought us Ragnarok, a VR rhythm game that places you on a Viking ship with your crew aiming to reach the end of a river. Hitting the notes in the correct time to the ever-growing catalogue of songs left an addictive and enjoyable game. With the addition of multiplayer, it made playing a rhythm game in VR that more fun. Ragnarok is available now on multiple platforms from Steam, Quest and even PSVR 2. The game has a huge fan base and some loyal players, but people were left wanting more of one thing. A couple years passed and we all still longed for another survival VR horror shooter from Wanadev Studios, and they clearly weren't ready to give that up. In 2023, they brought us all Propagation Paradise Hotel. Unlike Propagation VR, this one featured a story, a narrative, and one that was quite gripping. The game had you exploring a hotel looking for your sister, all while exploring rooms, taking out the undead, and trying your best not to jump at every turn. This game gained a lot of popularity for its gameplay, story, and even got compared to classics like Resident Evil. Wanadev Studio made one of the greatest horror shooters in VR, but that was just a taste of what was to come. Still, in 2025, we're all longing for another Propagation game, but they clearly need more time. Propagation Paradise Hotel is available now on Steam, Quest and PSVR 2. Then 2 years later, Wanadev Studio dropped another game, but this time it wasn't Propagation, it was Prestigious Fallen Tribes. A strategic card game in VR where players would lead tribes to conquer the board in solo or online PvP battles. The game also has non-VR support on PC. The game offered a unique visual aesthetic in VR, getting to watch your tribes attack each other while your enemy stood across the board from you led to some intense battles. This game is available on PC, PC VR and Quest. Now, in the same year, Wanadev Studio started teasing their next game, Species Unknown, a game that would intrigue but also shock a certain community. But let's talk about the game first. Species Unknown is a 1 to 4 player survival horror where players have to travel to locations and complete tasks such as retrieve data, destroy the area or even the species itself. Now the game is a first person shooter but also has elements of investigation, exploration and teamwork. Players will have to navigate through dark corridors to locate the power source and then complete their mission, but while doing so the area will have a certain species and this is varied. However, finding out what is hunting you is not as hard as it seems. By looking at the corpses on the floor and determining how they met their demise, it will uncover what is chasing you and how you can face it or even eliminate it. Again, this heavily depends on the mission. The game offers thrilling and engaging gameplay, all while keeping a tense and heart-pounding experience. I've recently been playing the beta of Species Unknown and it's completely got its hooks in me. The gameplay is addictive and the graphics are absolutely stunning. However, there is one big thing that may turn away some Wanadev Studio fans, and that is, this game isn't VR at all. Wanadev Studio decided this game wasn't going to be VR and instead they focused all their attention to bring in a fun and engaging non-VR experience. Now, after spending some time with the beta, I can say it's absolutely amazing and I really cannot wait for the full release as this game is genuinely going to take many of my hours from me. However, I also can't deny the fact of how great this would look in VR. Walking down dark corridors, all while seeing flickering lights, shadows and hearing the ship would be pure immersion in VR. Plus there are some moments like when you jump to light speed that would absolutely blow my mind in VR, but in non-VR they just look great and I kept saying to myself, how good would this look in VR? Now sure, you can always use the UEVR injector mod, but I'm all about those native experiences that everyone gets to enjoy. And all the time while I play this game, I say to myself, this would look fantastic on the PSVR 2. Getting to experience this game with head haptics cinematics and adaptive triggers, but also OLED panels showing those dark corridors, it would be absolutely mind-blowing. I hope after the release, and if this game is successful, Wanadev Studio think it over and get a VR port made, because VR fans deserve this type of game. Personally, I cannot wait to continue playing this game. Wanadev Studio have once again shown us that they are skilled and talented developers with a passion for gaming, and I highly recommend everyone keeps an eye out for this. I also hope they bring it to consoles in the near future and continue to expand the game with more maps, enemies, missions and upgrades, because it would be awesome. Also, I'd like to see some lore around where the species came from, journals from scientists on the ship. These types of things would add so much more depth to the game. Now, as this was the beta I played, all of these things could already be planned for the release, but I think the highest praise I can give them is that even though this is a beta, it felt incredibly polished. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video and a little walk down memory lane of Wanadev Studios. Now, I have a question. Are you interested in Species Unknown, or would you only be interested if it was VR? Thanks as always for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a wonderful day.